Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Emberlight and the key was provided by developer. I wanted to say that this is an alpha build and the game is 7 weeks before release, so this is not the finite version, it's not released yet from what I know. I got the key, and since I got the key there were already patches, and actually I was one of the 2 people or maybe 3 people who were talking on the discussion forum on Steam. I didn't use Discord, but we were talking on Steam, and the developers seem to be very responsive. I'm pretty sure that even did something I suggested, but I don't want to take the praise for it, but maybe it was my suggestion. It was about this new mechanic of leaving something in between runs, having some sort of progression, and it's there. I'm not sure what it gives, but it's there at least, so it's probably a starter mechanic that will be introduced later with more unlocks or with any unlocks. I didn't find any, but I just made it to 1 level. I will try to show you the game and the gameplay. It's a roguelike with turn-based combat. When I first contacted with the game, I thought that this has no progression, but I guess the progression will be added via this corruption thing, which is a good stuff, because otherwise it was just a 1 run and that was it. You didn't get anything else. Now it seems to be slowly unfolding. I think a lot of stuff is not yet implemented, and there are bugs. There are definitely bugs. You can get stuck in a run with 0 HP. They said they patched it, then I had it again, and I just sent them the file for well, dealing with the bug. So that's one of the bugs that can happen. There is some problems with targeting. Basically there is bugs in this game. I'm gonna show you 1 run and then I will wrap it up. So just be aware that this is not finished game. This is definitely an alpha and before release. But I just, well, not just got the key. I got the key a few days ago, but I was kind of discussing it with developers and reporting bugs, and I waited a bit. So this is a bit more fresh than what I got. So let's start the game. Now you have this new interface. It wasn't there before. Basically you find a dungeon you want to play, and you can check the boss that will be at the end, and then you have to pick the team. So basically I will go for the centaur, which is probably the easiest. We are going to fight the centaur. I'm gonna take 3 guys with magic. Before there was no choice, you always had one of each class. Now you have the choice, so at least you can check your party. Also there is no items. The whole progression is by giving your characters skills, which are just normal skills that are used in turn-based combat in such a way that it's used in, let's say, Final Fantasy or in some card games like Slay the Spire or Quest for Gilgamesh. But they also give you passive boost to attributes. There is no leveling and there is no gear as such. So let's start. Yes, there is potions, and those are the skills. So we have 3 skills. Now you can add 1 more. As you can see, this skill would give me +1 accuracy, +1 potency, and +50 HP. So I'm gonna add them. I always add stuff with attributes. Or I'm going for area of effect, but not for me. I would rather have damage skill, but there is none. This one is like heroic. Right, this would lower the HP of the enemy. This could be nice. Right, let's go with this, what we have. Now the map is done really well, I must admit it. This is the map, and it looks very similar to Darkest Dungeon. Basically you have to go to the boss room. This one, they are well explained. So we'll have to go through this very, very long corridor. There's a lot of combat, and then we'll be able to wrap it up with the boss. So this is what I'm going to show you, 1 run. When it comes to options, we have the options. Yes, we have some options. It constantly forgets the resolution. We have the different resolution now, but it doesn't matter. There's also encyclopedia that's slowly being filled. Some stuff is just like this, true, false, and stuff like this. Some stuff is, yeah, this is all the text for page 2 to be added, and some stuff is actually there. So this is work in progress, right? But it's good it's there. Now when it comes to options here, we can click on the portrait and it should show us the stats of our character. Aside from that, we can use the potions, we can attack. This is probably past turn, but doesn't say. And here are the skills, right? So let's just keep going. Right, this should be interactive, but it's not, probably not implemented. It says there is a shrine, you can interact with it, but I see no prompt here to click it. Let's see roughly how it goes. So we go right all the way, then we go up, and then we go left. So right, up, left. We have to go right all the time. Right, we could spend money here. I never won because it's just random. So let's just keep going. This will heal us, but we are fully healed. And that's the combat. So first you have to target the guy, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Depends which part of screen he is. It depends if it's still his turn and what the resolution we have. There's sometimes problem, but usually you can roughly click in the middle of the guy. Sometimes doesn't work if you click like on this. See, if I click on this, it's showing on as white, but you have to click in the middle, then it works. If I just click the axe, it doesn't work. If I click the head, let's click the head. Yeah, it works. So sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, depending on the character or on the model. This is DOT, damage over time. So let's just keep attacking. They're pretty good with normal attacks. By the way, it's not very balanced, I would say. It's all over the place with damage. You can run into mid-boss on first fight and you will be doing 20 damage and they will heal for 150. So it could be ridiculous. You can also be overpowered like this. You just two-shot guys and they will take 25 damage from the DOT, so this is rather effective. And when they attack, they can give us a skill. They can use a skill on us and we learn the skill. And then we can add it to our characters. And that's the whole progression within a run. Okay, so we have two abilities. I usually just give them like this. I just add them to people. Because, well, it's always better to have something than nothing. So there isn't much choice here, really. Like, you could try to make a build or something like this, but usually you just spread all the skills to all characters. That's what you do. 31 damage. Yeah, maybe let's assume it's actually 31 damage. This should hit all. If it doesn't miss, I would finish this guy because he can heal maybe. Yes, he died. Good. Now we have to go through very long combat. Sometimes the combat is very long when you do little damage or there is stronger enemies or they heal or they use shields, damage shields. So then it takes longer. Sometimes it's a breeze. It just depends. Okay, let's just do damage to this guy. It's gonna take a while, but let's just go through entire run for the sake of it. So here it rather works, I would say. This is some very old idea, this turn-based combat. It generally works well. I'm not very happy with the interface. I think it should be more like other games that did it right years ago, like, you know, Final Fantasy or Slay the Spire or Night War, I think is the game. Yeah, it's pretty good. Same idea, right? 3 guys on the left, 3 guys on the right, but it has just better interface. I don't know why it's tilted like this. What's the point? But it is. Right, lots of missing. No idea how good is my chance to hit the enemy. I have no idea what's my chance. It should be on the attack, right? So I would have an idea if I'm missing or not. But you don't have the idea, so you just have to guess. I'll just keep trying, basically. It's not like you have a choice, just attack with what you have. Right, see, that's the same. It gets easier and easier because we are more and more powerful, we have more HP, we have more powers, and they are the same. Aside from the boss, which can be very overpowered. But general fights are very, very similar. They get easier and easier, just go through it, basically. You get a couple of skills, then you probably win, you have powerful attacks. You can just wait until they do their moves and try to hit them properly. Yeah, I think this makes absolutely no sense. It's 50 damage. I would do 40 with normal, but this can kill him. Right? He will die from the DOT. This is what I was using in Darkest Dungeon quite a lot. DOT was powerful. Yeah, that was, for some reason that was very powerful, right? Like that was normal fireball should do 50. This guy did way more for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think they're weak to fire because they are just like normal damage. So this is all over the place, right? It could be easy, it could be hard, could be impossible. You could say it's a roguelike because, well, you die, you're losing most of the content. There is at least a little bit of roguelite element slowly being added. This whole corruption thing. I hope it unlocks something. So far I was unable to see what it unlocks, but at least it's implemented. I made it through one level of the corruption and it did nothing, so I don't know how it works, but it's there. Yes, those are good. 200. We also grow this last attribute, the 6 out of 100, and this is the corruption. I'm not sure what it gives exactly, but it grows towards the well, this bar that goes on between levels, between runs. So I guess the more you get, the better, because you are supposed to unlock something. This is kinda a progression. Right, this is powerful, I guess. Now, I'm not sure what is this. Accuracy multiplier potential. Not sure what it means even. It says area of effect. It isn't. It isn't area of effect because I hit the middle guy. Yeah, now they got. Yeah, probably I missed the previous one. It's actually powerful, I must say. Sometimes it's not well explained because there is like positive effects, and you don't know if you give positive effects to enemy or to yourself. It's not very well explained, but well, I can give you now the example because I don't have all the skills at the same time. Right, so this should be 52 damage. Let's see. Let's see. Well, it was 46. Probably he's resistant. Let's try to poison his friends. Well, use the fire, but it works just like poison. It's DOT of any kind, doesn't really matter. Eats them up. Probably because I played a lot of Borderlands lately. I'm just treating every DOT as the same. Just when it's ticking, that's good, because they might die out of it, and I don't even care which one is it, as long as it's doing damage. They might be resistant to something, but it's not like I have a choice. Like, my attacks are on fire anyway. Now the game choked. I don't know what happened. It keeps going. Let's give it a time. Right, so I guess it's just choked. Let's see the recording. Yeah, everything works correctly. I'm trying to finish off this guy. I'm not sure if he's... I think yes, he's the boss, I think. I'm pretty sure he's the boss. He's like a mid boss, like an elite, and he should give better powers. Alright. I wasn't really damaged a lot. The middle guy was damaged, but I have more HP now because I got the powers. So I should now work on the healing. I should heal them up fully. This guy should die at the bottom. So now we have to finish the last wolf. And then hope that we can make it to the boss. Right. And that's it. Right, so we got apparently something stronger. I'm not sure. This is just what? Uncommon. Uncommon. Normal. Let's just give whatever to people. Let's just give them whatever we can. They're all the same, so it doesn't matter really. Alright. Let's check the map. It should be up and left. Alright, so this is okay. We can heal after the fight, I guess. Let's just finish off the same guy. So see, this is easier and easier, aside from the boss, because those guys, they are the same as the first fight we did, but now we are much more powerful. We definitely do much more damage. Well, not with normal attacks, but with skills, I guess. You know what? I'm gonna use this area of effect. Yes, they all died. Awesome. So that was easy. No abilities. Now we heal the entire team. The boss can hit like a truck. I'm just trying not to click this because it's showing it's... Oh my goodness, I clicked the wrong one. Alright, let's just heal here. It's not very easy to click the stuff you want to click. Sometimes you just trying to pick a character, but you keep clicking something else. Now I'm trying to choose a guy. Why am I have two guys? They all have this red thing, right? And I click this one. Makes no sense. Okay, they are healed, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, they are all marked at the same time. Makes absolutely no sense, but whatever. Yeah, so that's the boss. Actually, that's a different one. Pyromancer. Oh, those are our guys. He's on the left. I never know where's the enemy. It's very weird. Because at some point you're supposed to fight your own people because of there is a mechanic that after this fight there is fight between those guys and they become corrupted. You're supposed to fight them, but I'm not sure when and how it happens. Maybe you have to go to all the way to deeper dungeons to do it. But I didn't really play it because I didn't have any progression, so I just need progression in such games to keep going. I was basically grinding the first level. I once played another dungeon, it was just longer. It did the same, there was no progression back then, so there was no point to play it for the corruption to pile up. I just played it, and it was all it did. It was longer. I went through 2 levels of dungeon, and then the boss killed me. So I reached absolutely nothing. That's the biggest problem I had with this game. Now at least there is some progression. I don't know how it works, but at least it's there. So we can hope it's gonna have the proper progression. Now he's very powerful. He can one-shot me with this skill. But I might be able to kill him before he does that. Okay, let's try to poison him. Actually, if I lose one guy, it's gonna be easier because the last fight will be shorter. But I would get less corruption. Right, so he's dead. Now we have this ridiculous fight that's completely pointless. Or we have a bug. No, we don't have a bug. We have to click. Alright. So this is basically saving our corruption. So we should be getting already slightly more when we finish the game. Now there is this fight between the guys. It makes absolutely no sense because it's kind of automatic and doesn't really matter who wins. Maybe it matters who you're gonna fight, but it's not like you have much choice. You don't even know who you are fighting. I think I'm fighting this guy against those guys, but I'm not entirely sure. Yes, if I click him, he's there, so it's not his turn. So I guess this is makes no sense because they're the same, right? It's kind of pointless, but whatever. Let's try to do this, right? Doesn't matter really. If we win, well, it ends. If they win, it ends. Doesn't matter. You just have to go through it. I think it's completely unnecessary. There should be like, I don't know, an animation maybe. The one guy goes crazy or something. This is just... I guess this is done for the reason that you can try to tweak it so that one guy won't be alive, so he won't be this powerful enemy at some point. For instance, if I consider my guy to be the worst, I can make him die. I can make him like hit himself like this. Right? Of course, I missed. I can even hit myself in the head with a stick. Makes no sense, but whatever. Right? So I can try to kill myself, or I can try to kill him. It doesn't really matter, but you can try, I guess, to get rid of the most powerful guy, either killing him or killing yourself. Because that's why you do this fight. I don't know what's the other point of it, to be honest. Okay, of course I have no idea what's my chance of hitting, so I'm just trying. I don't know, let's just do normal attack. No, it's gonna miss every time. And nothing. Yeah, some people were complaining about constant missing. I didn't have much of that problem, but it might be there. Especially if your team is all pumped. What does he have? He has armor. Yeah, that's also strange because 1 armor. Does it mean it's not 13 but 14? What does it even mean 14? 1 armor, is it even a lot? I don't know. Yeah, I'm missing everything, of course. They should be similar, but I'm missing like 5 times in a row. Again. And again. He doesn't even have a dodge bonus. Yeah, I'm missing everything. Completely everything. And yes, that. It's not like I won. I just killed him, right? So we get score. Not sure what's the point of the score, but you do. 12 minutes. And we're exactly where we started, right? We could do daily challenge. I guess the plus of daily challenge is that you have full corruption, so I guess you get 300 if they all survive. Towards the bar. Now let's see the bar. That's the bar. I'm not sure what it gives, right? It's supposed to unlock something, but I don't know what it unlocks. It was 300 before. I did 300. Unlocked nothing. So I don't know if this is not implemented or maybe it will be implemented. Yes, I could now play Catacombs. Right, so I think I unlocked this one. Maybe you can unlock the other two just to play different level. You could play caves, you could play catacombs, you could play surface, right? So this is different. This is deeper and probably longer. But generally the gameplay is the same, right? You always go towards this choice of characters. Not sure what's this. Doesn't mean that Pyromancer can be something else, but it's not implemented. I guess those are subclasses, but they're not yet. I don't know, maybe I didn't get there, or maybe they're not implemented. Hard to say. So that's the gameplay. That's what you do. Now the game is early access, and it's this before release version. There's still almost 2 months. I don't know if it's gonna evolve to what it should be, because it's a mixture of a couple of things that kinda make sense. You know, Darkest Dungeon map is okay, turn-based combat is okay, but it definitely needs to be more similar to established genres. It should have a hub, it should have classes, it should have unlocks, it should have some progression, maybe some leveling, maybe gear, all this stuff that we know and that we like. I don't know why a lot of stuff is not there, why the characters have no levels and no gear, that only have skills that are passive boosts. So it's like getting a little bit of stats and a couple of powers, nothing else. And that's rare. Usually you have something more, so you can customize your characters. Also, you get attached to your characters because you keep playing with them. Here, no, you don't. They are for one game, then you get fresh character and do the same, basically. The only progression is now with the corruption, but the thing is that it wasn't even in the game. When I first got the key, there was no corruption, there was no progression at all. It was just, well, play through the dungeon and be done with it, right? So I'm not sure if the developers know what they are trying to do and what they are trying to copy on. Maybe they are trying to do their own thing, but I don't know how. And that's a problem, because if this was a copy of Darkest Dungeon, I would like it. You know, if it had a hub, if it had gear, if it had powers, if it had camping. Just a copy, you know, a bad copy, an indie copy, maybe low budget copy, but a copy of a good game is a good game. Now, an attempt to make something out of 2 or 3 games without knowing where you're going, that's not a good game. That's an attempt to make a good game, which might evolve into one, but it's not it yet. I'm gonna give it 4, because I think now it's below standard, but it has a chance, because it's not yet fully released, it's not finished. Developers care and they really look for feedback. They're trying to squish the bugs and even implement new stuff. So I would say you should observe the game. Right now it's below standard if you compare it to a dungeon crawler, to a roguelike, to a turn-based game. It definitely doesn't have the proper campaign or the proper progression that just goes on through something and ends, right? Even if it's endless, like, I don't know, Dead Cells, right? It had the unlocks, it had some progression. You could like beat the game, unlock everything, beat all the bosses, all the difficulties. There was some conclusion to it. Now this one, I don't even know if it has an end. Maybe you just have to go to deepest dungeons. That's the idea, but you always start fresh. So I could just as well play now the hardest dungeon, just keep trying until I do it, because I don't think I can unlock anything. Maybe I can, maybe I'm missing it. And now, if there is unlock system, it should be very, very clearly visible. I mean, pretty much all games that have any progression show the progression, right? If you play Fallout, if you play Quest for Gilgamesh, if you play Dead Cells, Slay the Spire, Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, anything, you see levels, you see gear. You might not be able to get it, but you know it's there. You know that the game has 700 levels. In Dark Souls, doesn't mean you're gonna get it instantly, but you can get there. You might know that there is a weapon behind the boss and you have to beat the boss, but then you get the weapon and then you have that weapon, right? There is progression, there is stuff to get, there is stuff to grind, there is stuff to unlock. Here the only chance is within this corruption thing. If it actually is gonna add stuff and make make other runs easier, or allow you to somehow progress or maybe keep something, then it makes sense. As a pure roguelike, for me, it doesn't make sense. Just beating the same thing over and over again is not what I want. It's like, you know, playing League of Legends. Every match is separate, and then you go for another match is also separate. There's no conclusion to it. Of course, leaderboards and score runs are pointless. I like games to have ending, you know, to have some sort of conclusion. It might be long, you know, it could be hours of grinding, it could be a few hundred hours of grinding, but it should be there. Like, you know, in Borderlands, getting max level and beating all the difficulties, especially with all characters. This could be 500 hours or so, right? But it's there, you can get there. You can actually finish the run, you can finish the campaign, you can fully level up a character and get like a legendary gear. Here, no, you can't get anything. You can only have a good run or a bad run. So I would give it 4 out of 10 because it's below standard. It is playable aside from the bugs. Well, now the run was okay. Sometimes the run is broken because of the 0 HP bug or something else. But it mostly works. Sometimes it doesn't. Maybe they will fix it. I really hope that the corruption thing is well developed, and then there is actually a big unlock system or some hub area, or maybe they will add gear or something. They should. They definitely should. Because this is already an indie game, right? This is already a budget project. So if you cut on the content, if you cut the stuff that you usually find in other games, and you have an indie title, and you have low budget, then it's gonna drop the price and drop the quality and drop the, you know, the any point in buying it, right? It should at least copy a good game, and even better if it could add its own stuff or improve some elements, you know. But if it has not very good targeting, kind of downgraded graphics, half of the usual elements are not in the game, so this is below standard. It is playable as a turn-based game, sure, it's playable as a roguelike, but it's not something I would like to hack it to actually get some. I don't see the carrot, you know, like the only carrot is, well, maybe if I get a few more corruption points, which by the way takes forever. I would have to do probably like 3 runs to even go to next tier and then so on. So it takes hours just to grind the one at the same level, because why not? You know, at least you can kill the center, it's easy. And there's really no point to fight a harder boss, because you won't get any better, right? You might get better skills, but overall you're not going to be higher level, you're not going to have other classes or other trinkets or anything. You're going to have the same characters with basic powers. It's almost nothing. You don't even collect gold you could spend, right? Everything is reset. So the only point to play the game right now is to hack at the easiest quest and hope that the corruption does something. And it's very grindy, and I didn't even see anything unlock yet. So maybe, you know, maybe the first tier just unlocks nothing. It should be clear what it unlocks, right? If you were working on a bar, you should know what the bar does. Like, what am I unlocking? What did I get after first 300 corruption? What did I unlock? I have no idea what I unlocked. So I give it 4 out of 10. I'm quite lenient to this game because the developers are responsive and because it's both alpha build and pre-release. But they are already giving keys of this game, and they were giving them even before, when the game was in even worse state. So that's what it is now. I would say observe the game. I wouldn't say buy it. I would say observe it. If it's fully done, if it's gonna get more stuff implemented, and if they will completely listen to feedback, squish the bugs, and add more mechanics and the basic elements from other games, and if there will be any conclusion, then sure, then might make sense. Right now, not even encyclopedia is finished, right? The options are kind of broken because they don't remember the resolution, so there is tons and tons of stuff to fix. I just hope they do it. So 4 out of 10. There was Emberlight. Observe the game, add it to your wish list if you are interested. Be careful with buying for now, unless it's super cheap and you want to support developers. So that will be it from me. I was quite involved in this game, quite trying to help. I was talking to developers almost directly by my Steam forums. I sent them the output file with probably some errors. So that's all I could do. I'm not really a beta tester. No one pays me. I just play game and test it. I already spend more than I should on this game, but I think they are maybe worth it. I think they are proper people because they are caring. At least they try to care. At least they look like they care. Well, the last input here is from 3 weeks ago, but they are actually patching the game even now. Like, I think today there was a patch, and yesterday there was a patch. So definitely you can observe. You can give the game a chance if you want to. So that will be it from me. I'll see you in the next review, hopefully with a more polished and finished product, because that's what we're all always hoping for, and that's what I wish you. Good games, proper, finished, and enjoyable. See you guys next time.